The other day I told you that Buddha delivered a number of discourses to his son Rahula. Some of the discourses are just given once, but others are actually constant advice given to Rahula. And Buddha prevented Rahula from telling lies and so on, and also his look after his behavior and directing him to the ultimate attainment, that is arahantship. So Rahula said, like a hen protects her eggs, and like a yak protects his tail, my father or the Blessed One protected me. So the Buddha was always concerned about Rahula and always looked after his behavior so that he go the right way.
And then you say, what is the second one, protected?
Yak means Tibetan bison or something. Today's discourse is called Ambalatthika Rahulovada. And this discourse was given to Rahula when Rahula was residing at Ambalatthika. Now actually Ambalatthika is situated at the edge of Veluvana, and there is a tender mango tree, so that place is called Ambalatthika. Now, Amba means mango and Latthika means something like a sapling or a tender tree. So Rahula was living there, and it is said in the commentary that like thorns that are sharp from the beginning, Rahula was also desirous of living in secluded places. So he chose this Ambalatthika to stay. Buddha was living at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, and so not so far. So one day in the evening, the Buddha emerged from the Palasamapati and went to where the Venerable Rahula was. Now, Buddha and his disciples used to spend the daytime in seclusion, and in seclusion means in entering into Palasamapati. And then in the evening, they would get up from Palasamapati and and do whatever they like. And this time Buddha emerged from the Palasamapati and went to the Venerable Rahula. And the Venerable Rahula saw the Blessed One coming in the distance and made a seat ready and set out water for washing the feet. Now, wherever monks live, they made a seat for Buddha in case he would come. So in this instant also, there was the seat ready for the Buddha. What the Rahula did was just shake it so that shake it to get rid of dust and so on, and then set out water for washing the feet. So in those days, monks do not use footwear, and so water for washing the feet is also set out. Then the Buddha sat down on the seat made ready and washed his feet. Then the Venerable Rahula paid homage to the Buddha and sat down at one side. Rahula was 7 years old at that time, the commentary said. So that means maybe just after his ordination, this discourse was delivered to him. Now, he was ordained when Buddha reached Kapilavatthu. And then from Kapilavatthu, Buddha went to, say, Rajagaha, and then he followed the Buddha. And it was in the Rajagaha at Ambalatthika that this discourse was delivered. What would Buddha talk about to 7-year-old boy? Buddha talked about two things here. One is not to tell lies, and the other is to reflect upon to make reflection on bodily action, verbal action, and mental action when he is about to do, and when he is doing, and when he has done. So these two things Buddha preached to Rahula. And Buddha used similes, four similes of water vessel to refrain from telling lies, and then two similes of elephant to show that a person who tells lie can do anything. And then he uses the simile of the mirror for reflection. So after Rahula has paid homage and sat down, the Buddha left a little water in the water vessel and asked the Venerable Rahula, Rahula, do you see this little water left in the water vessel? Yes, Venerable Sir. Even so, little, Rahula, is the recluseship of those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie. So Buddha washed his feet and left a little water and then asked Rahula whether he sees or not, and then said, even so little is the recluseship of those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie. Then the Buddha threw away the little water that was left and asked Venerable Rahula, Rahula, do you see that little water that was thrown away? And yes, Venerable Sir. Even so, Rahula, those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie have thrown away their recluseship. So the second is that little water thrown away, and then said that even so those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie have thrown away their recluseship. Next, the Buddha turns the water vessel upside down and asked the Venerable Rahula, Rahula, do you see this water vessel turned upside down? Yes, Venerable Sir. Even so, Rahula, those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie have turned their recluseship upside down. So, those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie have turned their recluseship upside down. Next, the Buddha turns the water vessel right way up again and asks Venerable Rahula, Rahula, do you see this hollow, empty water vessel? Yes, Venerable Sir. Even so hollow and empty is the recluseship of those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie. So, last Buddha turned the water vessel right way up, and water vessel was empty. And so he asked whether Rahula sees it, and when Rahula said yes, he said, even so hollow and empty is the recluseship of those who are not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie. So altogether we have 4 similes of the water vessel. Little water remaining, and throwing the little water away, turning the water vessel upside down, and then turning the water vessel right way up. So by these similes, Buddha showed that those who are not ashamed to tell deliberate lie, suffer. So those who are not ashamed to tell deliberate lie are like those water and so on, and their recluseship or monkhood is, say, little or turned down and so on. Because when a person tells a lie, one comes to an offense. So when one comes to an offense, it is the breaking of the rule laid down by the Buddha. And so such persons are like those who such persons are like those who whose recluseship or monkhood is little, or it is turned down and so on. And then Buddha said 2 similes of the elephant. Suppose, Rahula, there were a royal tusker elephant with tusks like chariot poles, full grown in stature, high-bred and accustomed to battle. In battle, he would perform his task with his forefeet and with his hind feet, with his forequarters, F-O-R-E, forequarters and the hindquarters, with his head and his ears, with his tusk and his tail. Yet he would keep back his trunk. Then his rider would think, the royal tusker elephant with tusk like chariot poles and so on, performs his task in battle, which is with his forefeet and his hind feet, yet he keeps back his trunk. He has not yet given up his life. But when the royal, that means the elephant may use his body to fight with other men, but so long as he do not use his trunk, he is safe. So long as he keep his trunk in his mouth, he is safe. But when the royal tusker elephant performs his task in battle with his forefeet and his hind feet, with his forequarters and hindquarters, with his head and his ears, with his tusk and his tails, and also with his trunk, then his rider would think, this royal tusker elephant with tusk as long as tusk like chariot poles and so on, performs his task in battle with his forefeet and hind feet, and also with his trunk, he has given up his life. So when he has used his trunk also, it is like he doesn't care about anything. He cares about just winning, and he will do anything. So there is nothing he will not do when he uses his trunk. So he has given up his life. Now there is nothing this royal tusker elephant would not do. So too, Rahula, when one is not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie, there is no evil, I say, that one would not do. So when one is able to tell a deliberate lie, then there is no evil that he will not do. And this must be kept in mind, that one who is not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie, there is no evil that one will not do. The same idea, without the simile, we found in Dhammavada also. Therefore, Rahula, you should train thus. I will not utter a falsehood even as a joke. So even as a joke, a deliberate lie should not be spoken. With these similes, 4 of water vessel and 2 of elephant, the Buddha taught Rahula to refrain from telling lies. Now, when you read this, you may think that Rahula was fond of telling lies. But according to the commentary, it is not so. Although young people are fond of telling lies, Rahula was not like that, but just as a admonition, Buddha told Rahula not to tell lies. Now Buddha want to tell Rahula to make reflections that when he is going to do, when he is doing, and when he has done bodily actions, verbal actions, and mental actions. And here also with the simile. What do you think, Rahula? What is the purpose of a mirror? For the purpose of reflection, Venerable Sir. So too, Rahula, an action with the body should be done after repeated reflection. An action by speech should be done after repeated reflection. An action by mind should be done after repeated reflection. So all these three kinds of actions should be done after repeated reflection. So Rahula, when you wish to do an action with the body, that means when he is about to do the action, you should reflect upon that same bodily action thus. Would this action that I wish to do with the body lead to my own affliction, or to the affliction of others, or to the affliction of both? Is it an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, painful results? So that is how one should reflect upon something, some bodily action when he is about to do. You reflect, and if you know this action that I wish to do with the body would lead to my own affliction, or to the affliction of others, or to the affliction of both. It is an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, with painful results, then you definitely should not do such an action with the body. So if the action you are going to do will lead to your affliction, or affliction of others, or affliction of both, and it is unwholesome bodily action with painful results and painful consequences, then you definitely should not do such an action with the body. But when you reflect and you know this action that I wish to do with the body would not lead to my own affliction, or to the affliction of others, or to the affliction of both. It is a wholesome bodily action with pleasant consequences, with pleasant results, then you may do such an action with the body. This is the first thing Buddha taught. When you want to do any action, first you must reflect upon it, whether it is for your own affliction, or for the affliction of others, or for the affliction of both, and it is unwholesome bodily action, then you should definitely not do it. But if you found that it is not so, but on the contrary, it does not lead to his own affliction, or to the affliction of others, or to the affliction of both, and it is wholesome bodily action, then you may do such an action with the body. So that is with regard to bodily action before doing it. now while doing. Also, Rahula, while you are doing an action with the body, you should reflect upon that same bodily action thus. Does this action that I am doing with the body lead to my own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both? Is it an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, with painful results? And when you reflect and know that this action I am doing with the body leads to my own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, it is an unwholesome bodily action with painful results, painful consequences, then you should suspend such a bodily action. So this is while you are doing. So since you are doing the action, you have done something and not done something. So and when you reflect and you know that it leads to your own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, and it is an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, then you should suspend such a bodily action. You should not continue to do it. You just stop it there. That is what is meant. But when you reflect and if you know this action that I am doing with the body does not lead to my own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, it is a wholesome bodily action with pleasant consequences, with pleasant results, then you may continue in such a bodily action. That means you carry on doing this and you do it again and again. And then when you have done, so also after you have done an action with the body, you should reflect upon that same bodily action thus. Does this action that I have done with the body lead to my own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both? Was it an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, with painful results? When you reflect and if you know this action that I have done with the body leads to my own affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, it was an unwholesome bodily action with painful consequences, with painful results, then you should confess such a bodily action, reveal it, and lay it open to the teacher or to your wise companions in the holy life. That means for monks there are offenses, different offenses. Some offenses require the confession and some other things. So whatever the offense is, according to the offense, you should remedy this action. So you should confess such a bodily action, reveal it, and lay it open to the teacher or to your wise companions in the holy life. So to the co-religionist or to your teacher, you must reveal it and lay it open. And having confessed it, reveal it and laid it open, you should undertake restraint for the future. So not only revealing it, laying it open, but also undertake restraint for the future. That means you will restrain from it in the future also. But when you reflect and if you know this action that I have done with the body does not lead to my own affliction or the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, it was a wholesome bodily action with pleasant consequences, pleasant results, you can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. So when you find it that it is it does not lead to affliction, to your affliction or to the affliction of others or to the affliction of both, and it is a wholesome bodily action, then you can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. Understand the bodily action in three aspects. You will understand the verbal action in three aspects and mental action in three aspects. So when you want to do something and that is conducive to affliction to you or to others and so on, then you must not do it. But if it is it does not conduce to your affliction and so on, you may do it. And while doing it, if you found that it is conducive to your affliction and so on, you just stop doing it. But if you find that it is not conducive to affliction and so on, then you may continue to do it. You may do it again and again. And after you have done the action, if you found out that this action was this action conduces to affliction to yourself and so on, then you should confess it, reveal it to the teacher or to your wise companions in the holy life, and also to undertake restraint in the future. But if it is found that it is not conducive to affliction to the body and so on, then you can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. So when you wish to do an action by speech, the same thing. And when you are doing an action by speech, the same thing. And when you have done doing an action by speech, the same thing. And then comes mental action. So mental action also, when you wish to do an action by mind, and then you find it conducive to affliction and so on, then you may not do. And if you find it not conducive to affliction and so on, you may do such an action by mind. And also, while you are doing an action by mind, the same thing, you may stop it, or you may continue in such a mental action. And then, when after you have done an action by mind, you can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. Now here, the action by mind. With regard to action by mind, there is no confession, no confession, and no no lay it open and so on. And that is because according to Vinaya, only bodily action and verbal action, bodily action and verbal action can cause a monk to come to offense. But by mind alone, there is no offense to come. That is why when you have done an action by mind, there is no what to call? Then there is no no revealing it and so on. So what he should do is he should be ashamed about it, and he should discuss and feel disgust about it, and then later should undertake the restraint for the future. So no revealing here, but instead of revealing, he should be discussed with it and so on, and also there is the undertaking of restraint for the future. And now the conclusion. Whatever recluses and Brahmins in the past purified their bodily action, their verbal action, and their mental action, all did so by repeatedly reflecting thus. Whatever recluses and Brahmins in the future will purify their bodily action, their verbal action, and their mental action, all will do so by repeatedly reflecting thus. Whatever recluses and Brahmins in the present are purifying their bodily action, their verbal action, and their mental action, all are doing so by repeatedly reflecting thus. Therefore, Rahula, you should train thus. We will purify our bodily action, our verbal action, and our mental action by repeatedly reflecting upon them. So this is the conclusion. Now, those in the past and those in the future, and those in the past do these actions after repeatedly reflecting, and will do in the future also do repeatedly reflecting thus, and now also they are repeatedly reflecting thus. Therefore, you should train thus. We will purify our bodily action, verbal action, and mental action by repeatedly reflecting upon them. So, whatever action you do here, first you reflect upon it. And if you do not reflect upon it before doing it, then when doing, you should reflect upon it. But if doing it, while doing it you did not reflect upon it, then you should reflect upon it when you have done it. And then when it is bad, then you should not do it. and when it is good, you should do it. So either bodily or verbal or mental action, whatever action you do with reflection first, and that way your bodily, verbal, or your bodily, your verbal, and your mental action will be pure. Okay. You remember the last one? Do you understand clearly? Mental action. After doing mental action, it is not said to confess such a bodily action and so on. But instead, it is said that then you should be repelled, ashamed, and disgusted by that mental action. Having become repelled, ashamed, and disgusted by mental action, you can abide happy and glad, training day and night, and wholesome states. So
Sư hỏi quý
thus is what the Blessed One said. The Venerable Rahula was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. So Rahula delighted with these words. Now, in this sutta there is nothing for meditation. No meditation subject here. Just the refrain from false or refrain from lies, and then when you do things by body or by speech or by mind, you should do reflection, and that is all taught in this sutta. So this is taught to 7-year-old Samanera, but it is for all of us, not for 7-year-old only. So we should also refrain from telling lies, even in jest, and also do things after due reflection.
Sadhu, sadhu.